G'day guys, it's Calvin from the Cartoon Company in New Zealand. Yeah, I'm squinting a bit, sun's going in my eyes. But I just wanted to ask you guys if you've got a big hole or a small hole. It comes down to a discussion we were having on the internet the other day about the size of your hole. And guys didn't know that there was a big hole. I think some guys thought there was only little holes. But it turns out there is also big holes. I'm of course referring to the exhaust manifold gaskets. There's the big hole and there's the small hole. And it actually comes down a lot to the exhaust manifolds that are on the engines as well. We're only have a really quick look at this because I do want to refer back to this later on when we get into exhaust manifolds and the different kinds of manifolds that are available for the UZ engines. So let's look at the little hole. So there's the part number of the small hole gasket. I use genuine Toyota. I happen to have my spare cylinder head here. This is one of the heads that suffered from somebody not blowing off all the shit around the side of the manifold before taking it off, and it ingested a bolt when doing a simple starter motor job. So here's our gaskets. They sit like so. Here we go. So we've got the little tags there, catch on the inside of the head. We've got this little tag sticking up, and when it's lined up with the exhaust, you can see we've got a few millimeters of head surface on inside of the exhaust gasket. You can see actually on this head, you can see there's a lot of carbon out there, so it was possibly running the other gasket. So this is small hole. We'll just have a look at that small hole. So it's only maybe 1.5 mil on that one. It's got a little bit more on this one, a little more at the top there. So that's what the small gasket looks like on the cylinder head. The ports on all of the UZs, the 1UZs are the same. That'll be 1UZ non-VVTi. All the exhaust ports are the same size. Unless someone's modified them, then they're a different size. But standard, they're all the same size. Just, that's 1UZ non-VVTi. The exhaust gaskets fit the VVTis as well. And all the 1UZ VVTis have the same size ports. But they're slightly different in design to the non-VVTi because it's a different cylinder head. Just in case someone's going to be pedantic and make sure they know all that stuff, which is kind of important when we're talking about this sort of stuff. There's the part number of the big hole. There's the big hole gasket. Again, there's our little bit sticking up. Sit it like so. And look at the difference. It'd be easier if I had studs on my head, but I just don't. They were rated. So you can see the amount of carbon and the difference on that one. Well, that's probably 4 mils around there. Each hole, there is a lot of cylinder head left over compared to the gasket. So of course the exhaust manifold is sealing out here. Different exhaust manifolds will press differently onto these gaskets. The big hole also fits the 2UZ, so that one's the same as the 2UZ gaskets. So there you go, we'll put them together. So there's the difference between the two gaskets there it is. Okay. This means if you've got a ported cylinder head that's been opened out a lot, you swap from the small hole to the bigger hole because the holes will be bigger. Just putting that out there. I'm pretty sure most of it's self-explanatory on the rest of this. If you've got an engine with the exhaust manifolds that suit the small hole, then use the small hole gaskets. If you've got an engine that suits the big hole gaskets, or the manifolds suit the big hole gasket, then use the big hole gasket. If you're doing aftermarket stuff, you can use either, but make it sure that all your ports sort of match up. The cylinder heads themselves are the same size holes. The exhaust ports are a bit restrictive, So often when they're opened up and ported, you end up swapping from the small hole gasket to the big hole gasket with a suitable exhaust manifold to suit. Isn't this a lovely day? Yeah. For you guys, if you want to know how to find out what size hole you have, I've got some suggestions. A measuring tape, a set of verniers, a ruler, or Toyo DIY for listings, because I've just given you the part numbers. Just helpful hints for the day too. So I think that's enough for today, talking about the size of your hole, and we'll talk to you again soon. Catch you later.